In this video, we are going to make the floor for the second level, and we're going to add the stud walls that are all the way around the perimeter. Now, the easiest way to do this is going to be to basically hide some of the layers and then make copies of everything that will be needed on that floor and in those wall stud layers. So let's take a look at what the wall section is going to approximately look like. So this is a two-story structure, and it's wood frames like what we're doing. So we've already got in here the stud wall and the first level floor assembly. We're going to make copies of some of those components and bring them up to the second level. We'll use a floor to ceiling height that is the same on both levels, so we won't need to make any adjustments. So I'm in the south elevation, and I'm going to start turning off a few of the layers. These foundation layers, for example. So I'm going to click on them and hit Control so I can add more. And I'll right click and I'll hide them in the view. Okay, and I'll keep doing this. I don't need to copy this girder. And I don't need to copy some of these other elements here. See if I can grab that. Right click, hide elements in view. I have these sill plates. Now remember, the sill plates are the components that sit on top of the foundation wall. I'm going to hide, I can hide that category. No, I don't want to hide that category. Everything came up. Let's just hide those elements. Right click. Hide elements. So you may have to kind of click these a few times to get the things that you're trying to turn on. Hide elements. Oops. Okay. And now when we make this copy, I don't need to worry about these because these won't be affected by my selection window. We're going to be copying that bearing wall, but we don't need that bearing wall on level 2, so we'll be erasing those elements. But I think it'll be easier than going through the process of trying to hide them. So now what I'm going to do is make a window around here. Control C to copy to the clipboard, and I'll align it to level 2 and say OK. All right, let's take a look in 3D what we have here. Right, it looks like everything copied well. And as I mentioned, we don't need these elements in here. So I'm going to start eliminating them from the model. I think the easiest place to do that would be in section 1. And you just want to make sure, again, as I mentioned before, that when let's change this back to 1/8, so the scale is right. You can drag this window here. So we don't want to make sure we don't erase anything that's on this back plane. So I go back to section 1, and I'm just going to start selecting these and deleting them. Make sure you get that side stud and plate that's running along the middle. I'm going to get rid of that door opening. And okay, let's go back and take a look at it in 3D, and everything looks like it came out cleanly. Okay, so now what I have here, and maybe it would be easiest to show this in the other section. Let's take this window and drag it so we see a little bit more. my section happens to be cutting through that door opening. So that's what we're seeing here is the door header. But we have the level 1 eye joists bearing on the girder. At this level here, we have, see, I think that there may be, yeah, okay. The same thing, we have some eye joists that bear on this bearing wall. Okay, and up here, we'll resolve what's happening at the roof in the next few steps. Just want to show you one thing. We were in the south view when we made those copies and we turned off a whole bunch of layers. I'm going to go ahead and turn them back on. So I've clicked on that light bulb at the bottom, and then I right click and I'm going to say unhide the elements in the view. And then when I unclick that light bulb, they should all come back on. Okay. So that's it for that.